Hello everyone, I'm back again. I just did a video the other day on somatic OCD, and today I wanted to talk about persistence. This topic has been covered a few times, but I wanted to give my 2 cents and my perspective on persistence, and I'll correlate this to my own journey, and I'll give you some tips and tricks along the way, what I think works for me and what I don't think works for most people. So, why is it that most people don't reach their long-term goals? Multifactorial. Just because you do everything correct doesn't mean that you're going to reach your goals. When you think about everything happens for a reason, which is a very irrational statement, the reality is persistence is the only thing that really drives long-term success. Some people call persistence grit. They go hand in hand. And persistence is one of the most important aspects of OCD recovery. And why is this? It's because, and everyone's severity of OCD is different, whether you're on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no OCD, 10 being housebound for 30 years. Persistence is going to lead you down the road of recovery when things get tough, which they more than likely will. So let's talk about persistence for myself. So I have been working on recovery for about 6 months. I persist every day, day by day, moment by moment sometimes, to get me through. And that's a very tough thing for someone like me who has never had good balance and doesn't have a lot of practices in their life that creates long-term success, because I changed my mind so much. That was the OCD when I didn't even realize it was OCD. But now that I'm going through recovery and learning more about the art of persistence, because persistence is not really so much a science, but it's more of a skill and an art. And persistence for everyone is going to contain different things in different categories, especially when it relates to OCD and what your specific fears are. So persisting for me is, slowing things down when the days get really tough. With somatic OCD, it's just there, There's no break. Your body will salivate, you will swallow, you will blink, your heart will go, you're going to sneeze forever, probably making it a little harder to disengage than other forms of OCD, but that's besides the point. Remember, comparative suffering does not help you recover. So persisting through these moments of darkness, especially when it gets really low, and looking at the long-term picture and what's going to help you and what isn't going to help you for long-term success, is what ultimately will lead you to full recovery. And recovery, again, absence of anxiety and absence of obsessions, to where you cannot tell the difference between you and someone who doesn't have OCD. It is not just the absence of anxiety. As I said before, that would be OCD, no anxiety, but still obsessions, not recovery. So persistence is something that all of us will need to work on together and help lift each other up in order to reach that long-term success. And it's vital for recovery, vital. And one thing that has really helped me when it comes to persistence is maybe looking back on where I was. So, I had a rough couple of last days, and I think about to myself, 11 months ago, I was in the mental hospital. 11 months. It's not that long ago, not even a full year. I was a mess. Wasn't doing anything besides playing video games 20 hours a day, compulsively watching porn, and compulsively smoking nicotine. And that was my life. I wasn't functioning at any level whatsoever. Now my wife and I have started our own business, and I am working at Red Robin and also driving for Grubhub. So I'm doing lots of things. I'm persisting through all of that, even at the moments where I'm driving through Grubhub, and sometimes that cessation is so boom, 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 boom. And I just persist because there's no other way. I mean, when you really think about it, you have a couple options. You either persist or you don't. It's very binary. Now, there's a lot of different intrusive thoughts and multifactorial situations with specificity to your life. But in order to get from where you are to recovery, you have to persist. And remember, recovery isn't like this. Recovery isn't like this. Recovery is like that. Woo, all over the place. As you know, Rob says, your best days can be followed by your worst days and vice versa. And you might have a couple of really bad days. And I think what could be really the reason how persisting comes into such good context is, when you're a little bit farther down the road to recovery, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 14 months, and you're not recovered yet and you have a bad day, persisting through that and not getting into the gutter of, man, I've been working on recovery for 14 months. How am I not recovered yet? Because it's very easy to think like that. So this is why persisting is so important. And not just in OCD recovery, but in life in general. And it really can help you, give you the tools to have a way higher chance of recovery. And that's really important because without that, you'll probably get what you've already got. So, and to change over time is just adding persistence and practicing the art of recovery, because it is an art more than the science, in my opinion. And it's going to be different for all of us, as I said before. But without that persistence, really bad days, and I think what could be really the reason how persisting comes into such good context is, when you're a little bit farther down the road to recovery, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, 14 months, and you're not recovered yet and you have a bad day, persisting through that and not getting into the gutter of, man, I've been working on recovery for 14 months. How am I not recovered yet? Because it's very easy to think like that. So this is why persisting is so important. And not just in OCD recovery, but in life in general. And it really can help you, give you the tools to have a way higher chance of recovery. And that's really important because without that, you'll probably get what you've already got. So, and to change over time is just adding persistence and practicing the art of recovery, because it is an art more than the science, in my opinion. And